Good morning and welcome to the channel. Welcome to BMW's 100th Motorrad birthday anniversary. It's BMW celebrating 100 years. So we've got this roadshow of bikes going out on test rides. So you join me for the second ride today. This one is another R18. This one is the 100 years Motorrad Make Life a Ride number 1 of 1923. That's really quite special, that. It's not often you get to ride bike number 1 of a series. From this view I actually get to appreciate the tail lights of the R18 bobber that I had this morning, because they're just two teeny tiny little dots. So just to add a little spice of variety to this, so the bike that I had this morning had just foot pegs, and this one this afternoon, well, mid-morning, it's 11 o'clock now, has running boards. So just as a little different, this one also features the heel changer. So instead of using my toe up to change, I can go heel down and it'll change. Just to switch things up a bit. So I do like the aesthetic that they put into these 100-year bikes. They've got this black finish, but it goes black to chrome in a really nice fade. It is absolutely gorgeous. The guy behind me has the M1000R. I'll give him a little bit of space to appreciate that. Like I said, these things have got a fantastic aesthetic to them. I think they're a really, really bonny looking bike at the moment. So BMW are putting a lot of effort into making these things look absolutely stunning. Just get to really appreciate the tail end of that bike and how good it looks. Really comfy, really nice aesthetic to the bike. And the M1000R is really nice. So I said it this morning that the ride that they've chosen is just a really nice trail through a bit of the countryside just outside Preston. A couple of nice little small villages to pass through. Happy days. So we're going to pass through this little section where we're in 30 mile an hour before we get onto a nice little section of national speed limit, which will give me a nice little chance to roll under power. I say power, it's 91 horsepower, but what we are playing with is 156 Newton meters of torque, which is an incredible figure, and it dials in the bike as if you're getting pulled along like a tow rope on a 747. It's just relentless torque, it just doesn't give in. So I'll have another little quick play with it now. And what a beautifully tuned engine. Like, it is absolutely perfect for the job it's being asked to do. Now this is a little bit this morning where I got, I'm not going to say caught out, but I did drag the pegs a little bit through this next corner because it is quite tight and I might have been carrying a little bit more speed, so we're just going to take it nice and steady because this is what the bike's about. It's about going nice and steady. It's not an absolute rocket ship, although it does have the thrust to do so. It's about enjoying the ride. It says it on the tank, make life a ride. I think it's a bold statement, but let's just break it down a teeny tiny bit on this. We're not here for a long time, we're here for a good time. We need to enjoy the years that we've got and what gives us pleasure and what gives us enjoyment in life. And it is absolutely fantastic to be able to ride these machines. I cannot tell you, I cannot actually put into words how much better my mental health is by riding motorcycles. Keanu Reeves says that he goes through withdrawal if he hasn't rode a bike in a little while. And I can completely relate to that. it's not withdrawal, but it does my mental health the power of good. This is a very well crafted, well designed and well engineered piece of machinery, and I have to take my hat off to BMW. This is just a magnificent bike. It's a masterpiece, and the fact that the art is in the ability to make it what you want it to be. The bike itself aesthetically is beautiful, but when you can even look at it like a blank canvas and say, well, actually I want to make this my own, and you can have a magnificent work of art that's completely personalized to your own taste. I am enjoying using the heel shifter a little bit too much now. It's just so easy to use. I need to remember that when I rev the bike, when I downshift and coming up to a junction, the bike leans. And if I rev it now, it pulls to the left, just the way the cylinder moves with the momentum of the pistons. Nice lean, dragging a foot peg, doesn't take much to scrape a foot peg on this. Unfortunately, that's about my limit here. I love the behaviour of this engine. It's just got such a great character to it. No scrapey. Nice and steady, mind them foot pegs. I love the engine sound on this. Not just the engine sound, but the exhaust sound as well. So again, like the model I had this morning, this has the Akrapovic exhaust on it. Akrapovic exhausts. I'll never say it right. There's no real point in trying. But I do love that sound. I don't know what it is, but I do enjoy using the heel shifter. It just feels a bit more natural for when you're actually riding a big thing like this. It's got running boards. So I like it a lot. And I can't explain why. It just feels a little bit more natural, if that makes sense. Even though like most bikes on the road don't have it. It's like, because it's there, it feels natural to do. So if I'm changing down, I'm still using my toe to change down. So either way, my foot's making a downward motion to change gear. So down change using the toe, and then changing up gear, I'm using the heel changing down. Does that make sense? Heel down to change up. Given our road speed, 30 and gear 3, it's doing what it needs to do anyway. Not hard to change gear too much. Watch them foot pegs. Oh, this bit is really quite nice and twisty. I can feel a foot peg coming on. Nope. I feel like I don't want, as much as I'm enjoying the ride and I'm making life a ride like the badge says to do, It's not like I'm trying to abuse the bike and sort of push its limits. It's not about that with this thing. It's too much of a work of art, too much of a, not a prized possession, but something that's special, needs to be cherished. Something I've always kind of consciously got in the back of my mind. And I was talking to one of the sales team back at BMW before we took this out, and she said, don't worry about a bike, even though this is like something special and it's number one of 1920 year. It's number one of 1923 to mark the 100 years they've made 1923 of them, and this is number one. And I appreciate that, and I'm looking after it. And the point I'm trying to make is, she said, don't worry about the bike. The bike's just metal and plastic. Everything on it can be fixed, but as people, we take a little bit longer to heal, and replacement parts are a little harder to come by. And I thought that was like a really nice point to make. So I like the ethos behind Make Life a Ride. I think it's a very careful choice of words, not just as a marketing tool or a marketing strategy or anything like that, but it's an actual, just as a statement to make from a manufacturer to say, do you know what, make life a ride? Yeah, okay, so you can change parts of your lifestyle. Oh, go on, let's just give it a bit. Yes, riding bikes is a lifestyle choice, but it's about enjoying yourself and enjoying your life. We're not here forever. No one gets out alive. And as much as I could sit here on this bike and talk about, oh, the power figures this and the torque figures that, I don't think it's appropriate. I think the fact that they've made this bike, and this is especially this bike where it's marking 100 years of Motorrad, 100 years of BMW making motorcycles. And it's about enjoying the ride and living life, and it's about fantastic opportunities as well. And I'm here today because I've been given the opportunity, and as with everyone else today, to come down and just take these bikes out for a ride. It's about enjoying the little things. And yes, that does involve motorcycling, but I enjoy motorcycling. I enjoy life. I enjoyed yesterday when I took my mountain bike out with my son, and we went for a bike ride, and we found a nice little coffee shop, and we sat and had a cake and a coffee. I was on two wheels. Fair enough, it didn't have an engine, but that's what life's about. Life's about enjoying the little things, enjoying time with family, and enjoying riding. If riding bikes gives you great satisfaction and pleasure like it does for me, then get out there and do it. The first time I rode an R18 Classic, I think it was really interesting because I understood the sort of, yes, it had a classic look, it had that aesthetic to it and everything like that. It took me a little while of riding it, and I got into the feel of it. I understood what the brief was from the designers, and it wasn't make a bike to sell, it was make a bike to make the riders remember something, make them feel something. And I felt like they achieved that really well with the R18 Classic. The Art Deco styling of it, that post-war era that it was sort of designed to in the brief, wasn't just a design, it was a feeling, it was something to try and achieve with the bike, a feeling. I understood the brief of the R18 Classic, and it was to make something that people will feel nostalgic about. They will feel the heritage through the bike. And I can ride this one, and it is the R18, and I can feel it through the bike again. But this time it's not making me nostalgic as much as it's making me think about the bigger picture of riding motorcycles and what it means to be a motorcycle rider. How much it helps people, like it helps me with my mental health. It helps others with the mental health. People go for rides. feel better. I know I do. I specifically go on rides without the cameras, without anything, just me and the bike, just to clear my head. But doing so helps me in the rest of my life. It makes me good at my job. It makes me better at my job. It makes me better around the house when I'm at home. It makes me better at being a husband, better at being a dad. Now I think that's the one thing I want to sort of make poignant, is BMW have made these bikes for 100 years. This is the anniversary model and this is number one. And I just want to take this opportunity in this time to just appreciate this bike, and not the power figures, not the facts and all that lot. I just want to appreciate what the bike symbolizes, what it's there for. I kind of hope you guys appreciate it too. So just while I've got the R18 with the 100 years Make Life a Ride, the anniversary model, and it's number one of 1923. Just want to say thanks to BMW for putting this event together, bringing it down to the dealerships and allowing us to experience riding these bikes. It's been a lovely day so far, and I really appreciate this limited edition model.